Alright, I'm live. What's up, everybody? My name is Zach Hardy, and from this point forward, I have this thing called WWAIB, which is what is short for World Wrestling at its best. And it's a video game series that I do with WWE games. And I'm going to be doing events just like the WWE. I'll be doing Raw, and I'll be doing SmackDown at their respective times. Raw on Mondays, SmackDown on Fridays, and pay-per-views once every month. So I came on here to review WWAIB WrestleMania 31, which was concluded just about 15 minutes ago. And I gotta say, it was a really good match. I mean, not match. It was a really good pay-per-view. Of course, I would say that because I'm the owner, well, technically owner. I'll just consider myself an owner, considering, it would need some sort of chairman. But I'm going to be honest about the things, and I liked how, the stories were played out. It was definitely hyped up more than WWE's WrestleMania was, and the matches were great. Of course, I don't compete in them. I let the CPU take over. The CPU did pretty well on most matches. And what I'm going to do now is I will review each and every match from the pay-per-view. I'm not going to rate how well or how many stars it earned, but I will discuss the match and pretty much discuss it thoroughly as possible. So we started off with the kickoff show, which was for the European Championship. It was Big Show versus William Regal. William Regal was defending, and Big Show defeated William Regal via submission, so Big Show is now the new European champion. These two fought off at Elimination Chamber a month ago, and William Regal ended up winning. Big Show won a match against Sami Zayn to be the new #1 contender for the European Championship. The match was pretty good. It was actually pretty back and forth. Big Show got some powerhouse moves on William Regal, and William Regal got he had some pretty interesting spots where he was able to take down the Big Show and keep him off his feet. Even at one point, putting on the brass knuckles and punching Big Show in the face. Big Show then got up and ran through William Regal before hitting the choke slam and then doing some sort of submission. I think it was a stretch out or a Regal stretch on William Regal, causing William Regal to tap out, and Big Show wins. He's now your new European champion. It was a very good match. It definitely was not one of the best matches on the card, but it was definitely a very good match. Next up, we had the WWE Tag Team Championships, the ones from SmackDown. The Primetime players defended against the Hardyac Code, Zach Hardy and Chris Jericho. Hardyac Code ended up beating the Primetime players. It was a pretty interesting match. It went the same way you would think a normal, traditional tag team match would go. A team tagged in and out, and then kept one opponent down, and then the opponent was able to tag in the other partner. And in this case scenario, it was Zach Hardy and Chris Jericho taking advantage of Titus O'Neil. Titus O'Neil got up and tagged in Darren Young, but I believe it came down to Darren Young being pinned by, I think, Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho and Zach Hardy are now the new WWE Tag Team Champions. Yes, I put myself in. And I'll be putting other USW and wrestling-related guys, creative wrestler guys in on the series as well. I'll just see where I can fit them in. It was definitely a good match. Went back and forth the way you would think a normal, traditional, actual good tag team match would go. And Hardyac Code are now your new WWE Tag Team Champions. Next up was an interbrand tag team match. It was the first time that either of these teams had ever faced off in a match with all three being able to participate. It was the Shield against the New Day. The Shield represented Raw. The New Day represented SmackDown. The Shield beat the New Day. There were great spots in it where I believe Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston just kept bouncing off the ropes and off the turnbuckles and onto Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. The Shield performed a triple powerbomb, which is awesome, and I believe the Shield won via submission. It was Roman Reigns hitting or getting the claw to the collarbone and the shoulder of Xavier Woods, causing Woods to tap out after Rollins and Dean Ambrose got involved and kept the other two members of the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Big E, out of the equation, allowing the Shield and Roman Reigns to pick up the victory over the New Day and Xavier Woods. That was a great match. It was a longer match, of course, because it was a six-man tag team match, and you had to worry about two guys trying to break up a pin or a submission. So it was a very good match. I'll say that much. Next match was Bray Wyatt and Rey Mysterio. Really underrated match, but really hyped up very well. Bray Wyatt picked up the win over Rey Mysterio. So Bray Wyatt has won over Rey Mysterio. I'm expecting them to face off at Backlash this upcoming April. But for the most part, Bray Wyatt and Rey Mysterio had possibly one of the best matches on the card. I believe it was at one point Rey Mysterio hit the 619 on Bray Wyatt, and Wyatt kicked out, and then Wyatt ended up getting Rey Mysterio in the Sister Abigail and hitting that to beat Rey Mysterio. Great back and forth match. It was really awesome. I think there were two spots where Rey Mysterio almost had him in for a 619 and didn't really have the finisher stored up for it, or the stamina stored up for it. So that kind of, kept Rey Mysterio from being able to beat Bray Wyatt. So we're gonna find out next time they face off. We're gonna find out what happens and what comes out of that match. Next match was a hardcore match, or hardcore championship match. It was a tables match, and it was Mark Henry defending the hardcore title against Kane. Kane won and is now the new hardcore champion, two-time hardcore champion. It was an alright match. They involved the tables pretty often. It took a while for them to actually get a table involved, but once they got involved, it was pretty well utilized. I think they only used one table the entire match, the same table, I mean. And I think it was Kane winning after he put the table up in the corner, put Mark Henry against it, and then ran into Mark Henry for like some sort of spear. So Kane won and beat Mark Henry that way. It was an alright match. It wasn't the best and wasn't one of the best, but it was an alright match. Second match was, or not the second match, but next match was the second interbranded tag team match, and it was Dallas Truth, Bo Dallas and R-Truth, representing Raw, and they defeated the Invasion of Corey Graves and Rusev from SmackDown. I like what we're doing with Corey Graves and Rusev. I think that's a pretty good tag team, and definitely an underrated tag team, as well as Bo Dallas and R-Truth being an underrated tag team. Although I wouldn't really think of Bo Dallas and R-Truth as tag team partners, if I had to first think of them in mind. But Corey Graves and Rusev, I think that would be a top choice if I had to choose. Whether I wanted Rusev in a tag team or Corey Graves in a tag team. I think those two would pair up pretty equally, and they just couldn't get the job done against Dallas Truth, and Raw beat SmackDown in both attempts this night. Next up were the World Tag Team Championship matches. The Raw tag team titles. The Rhodes brothers beat Randy Orton and Ric Flair, so we have new World Tag Team Champions. It was an awesome match. Cody Rhodes got involved often. Goldust got involved often, and I think it ended when Cody Rhodes hit the crossroads on Randy Orton, with Ric Flair still walking to the corner, and Cody Rhodes picked up the victory for his team. So Cody Rhodes and Goldust picked up the win and beat Randy Orton and Ric Flair. Next match was for the United States Championship. I didn't pay too much attention to it because I didn't really look forward to the match. I mean, it was a match to look forward to, but after the first couple minutes, it just was not interesting enough for me to stay tuned. Sheamus ended up retaining the United States Championship against Booker T. First one in the night to actually retain their championship belt. I guess it was all right. I don't even know how Sheamus won. I wasn't really paying attention. I think he won with a bro kick or something. I don't know. But the worst match on the card, nonetheless, it would be worthy of a 1-star rating. Next match was the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Winner gets to face the Intercontinental Champion or the United States Champion at Backlash. Dean Ambrose beat Bad News Barrett, Kevin Nash, Santino Marella, and the Usos. I believe it was Bad News Barrett getting eliminated first, Kevin Nash being eliminated second, Santino third, Jey Uso fourth, and then Ambrose beat Jimmy Uso, or eliminated Jimmy Uso as the fifth elimination, and Ambrose won. He was 2 for 2 in the night, just like Raw was 2 for 2 in the night, and Dean Ambrose will face the winner of the next match for the Intercontinental Championship at Backlash. Next match was for the Intercontinental Championship. Rob Van Dam beat Daniel Bryan and Batista. It was an awesome match. It was great. I remember there was one point where Daniel Bryan was going to the corner to hit the flying knee on Rob Van Dam, but Batista charged at him and hit him with a spear. And then Batista took out Rob Van Dam, and then Batista hit the Batista bomb on Daniel Bryan, and then tried to get up, used the ropes, but by that time, Rob Van Dam had already sneaked into the cover, hooked the leg, and won while Batista was trying to get up, and Batista turned around just in time to see Rob Van Dam beating Daniel Bryan. So Rob Van Dam retains the Intercontinental Championship, the triple threat. He will face Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental title at Backlash. I guess this will set up something about, maybe a Daniel Bryan versus Batista rivalry. That should be interesting. Yep. Next match was for the World Heavyweight Championship. The Ultimate Warrior beat Brock Lesnar to retain the world title. It was a really good match. It was back and forth, back and forth. The Ultimate Warrior ended up taking down Brock Lesnar, hitting him with the Warrior Splash to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. Great match. A really, really good match. There's nothing else I can really say about that except for it was back and forth, and it was really, really awesome. Next match was the Conquer the Streak match. Dolph Ziggler beat The Undertaker, and Undertaker's streak is now 22-1 after facing Dolph Ziggler. I was really hoping Undertaker would win, just because I didn't want to have a repeat of WrestleMania 30 from last year in the WWE. Sadly, that was not the case. Undertaker had a chance to win, hit Dolph Ziggler with the tombstone. However, when he went for the pin, Dolph Ziggler's leg was underneath the rope, causing a rope break. Ziggler then hit 2 drop kicks and hit him with a zigzag to pin The Undertaker and win, ending The Undertaker's streak. So, okay. Ziggler beat The Undertaker and ended the streak. Whoop-de-doo. And the main event was for the WWE Championship match. This had the best ending you could think of. CM Punk retained the WWE title after forcing John Cena to tap out to the Anaconda device. You don't even see that in video games. You don't even see John Cena tap out in video games unless you're the one making him tap out. John Cena taps out pretty much to the CPU. It was a great match. Went back and forth. The ending was even better because John Cena hit the 5-knuckle shuffle, and then hit the Attitude Adjustment, then got a comeback, then hit his shoulder blocks, and then the spinning slam on CM Punk. Then went for a 5-knuckle shuffle again, got the 5-knuckle shuffle. And then Cena went to do something like that, and Punk countered. He then punched down Cena or something, and then locked Cena into the Anaconda device. And for about 10 seconds, Cena tapped out, giving CM Punk causing CM Punk to retain the WWE Championship and cap off an amazing WrestleMania pay-per-view. So all in all, it was about a 4-star rating. It would have been a 5-star had all the matches been 3 stars or above. Of course, I believe Sheamus and Booker T, I only gave it 1 star. And I'll look back at it when I put this up on YouTube in about a month. Yes, I'll be putting up WWAIB WrestleMania 31 in about a month. I'll be putting it up on YouTube. That should be interesting. Maybe a month, maybe less than. We'll find out. You'll get a notification when time comes. But all in all, great match. Great pay-per-view. And I really enjoyed it. It was something you don't want to miss. That's pretty much it. If the WrestleMania pay-per-view happens to have a lot of lag in it, I apologize. Because Twitch doesn't really do good for me when it comes to streaming, because I don't have a very good internet connection down here. My Wi-Fi is always hooked up upstairs. So whenever I get the chance to put the pay-per-view up, if I end up watching it back and it has lag, I'll still put it up, and I'll just find out what I can do for Backlash. Of course, I'll only be doing this for the pay-per-views that come out. So I will not be putting up Raw and SmackDown on YouTube. That'll probably be up on Twitch. Those will be streamed on Twitch no matter what. Mondays at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be Monday Night Raw. And Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it'll be Friday Night SmackDown. So watch out for that. And we'll see when I'll be able to put the WrestleMania pay-per-view up on YouTube. It'll be up on the Unitards channel. Don't worry about that. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. This was my review of the WWAIB WrestleMania 31 pay-per-view. Like, favorite, and subscribe for more. I'm Zach Hardy, signing off.